56.5% of homes are selling below asking and list price. Sellers are thinking this is 2020, 2021. Buyers are thinking this is 2009. We got to bridge the gap as agents and meet those expectations and get these homes sold. So stay tuned. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane with Real Estate Agent Playbook and eXp Realty. Going to dive into an entire series about listings. We've always heard list to last, but we really want to dial this in. So over the next couple weeks, we will be diving into all kinds of different things, all listing agent specific. So if that's you or you're trying to break into the listing agent space, the truth is it's still list to last, but we have to understand we have major opportunities in this market to show our value to our clients, and that's exactly what we want to do. I've helped agents just like you scale their businesses to whatever levels they want. Sometimes agents come in and they say, I just want to sell one home a year. I want to make six figures. Or some agents say they want to sell them all. We've helped agents just like you do all of those things. So if you're interested in connecting, book a call with me, the Realtor Game Plan call below, but let's dive in. So first and foremost, we have to put ourselves in our client's shoes. So let's start with that seller mindset. Right? We've always had over the last 10 years, like, oh, this home sold over here, this home sold over here. Don't worry, it's only 4,000 square feet bigger than yours or anything like that. And so the truth is the market was masking this a little bit and allowing us to kind of edge up towards those prices of the bigger homes that are sold as comps because the demand was so fierce and we had so many opportunities. So we have to understand that selling a home more than buying a home is a super emotional process, right? People have lived their lives in there. They've had good memories, they've had bad memories. And so when someone comes in and drops a value that is different than they think, it's a huge deal. One of my agents has an amazing seller questionnaire. And on there, before she even goes to the listing appointment, she asks, what do you think your home is worth? Not because she's going to tailor the presentation or do anything to that, but knowing what the seller thinks the value is of the home is a pretty cool thing. And let's be honest, we can't hide behind the internet. Everybody's looked at their estimate or whatever. So using that as a way to frame and prepare yourself for what's to come in the listing appointment and tailor your presentation to get to that actual data, the information that's needed is huge. So how do we reset the seller's expectations? I do this extremely diligently by finding out where they're going, right? The truth is that we have all this, equity, and especially if you've owned it for a long time, it's truly monopoly money. So we need to make sure that we understand where they're going. Are they going to have a mortgage on their next home? Is there a dollar amount that they, absolutely need to walk away from? And then kind of understand exactly what that looks like. And I'm not saying fire sell the home, but honestly, if you're taking a step back, and we can talk about this, we can really go from there. And moving on to the buyer's mindset, one thing I do with the seller is show them exactly what a traditional buyer for their home. If it's a 3,500, 4,000 square foot home, maybe that's a move up home. And, I'm assuming 20% down, but I'm going to show them what it looks like with a 20% down mortgage with 7% interest rate looks like on the home. So they can understand what the buyers are looking at. That does one of two things. First of all, it gives them a little bit of empathy for what's coming in on the other side. And second of all, it gives them understanding of, okay, right, if I was going to pay 5, 6, double what my current mortgage is for this home, I certainly would want to, probably replace that 35-year-old furnace that we've just been limping along. Right. So it kind of helps with that for them to understand. And it's just a guesstimate. If it's a smaller home, an entry 3.2 or whatever, I'm going to show them, what a 3 or 5% down payment mortgage looks like on that, because that's probably what the buyer is going to be coming at them with. It might be completely wrong, but if they can see that number, because it's a shocking number, and I've never had a seller be like, oh, that's not very much, right? They always look at it and they're like, okay. And it kind of sets the stage for the buyer mindset, right? This is what the buyer is thinking. We have to bring buyer and seller together. So if we can start to bridge that gap with the sellers early on, it's absolutely huge, right? So if we go into it, buyers are cautious. They're making a absolutely large investment, probably, double what their rent might be, right? It is cheaper to rent than or buy than rent, but it's not cheaper on the month to month on those budgets. So we need to make sure that we're focusing in on that and understanding, right? These higher mortgage rates are driving these payments up. And then you throw on the insurance, which is affecting single family homes and majorly affecting the HOA townhome communities. It's something to really think about. So we have to educate the buyers on the platform and so on. But if we educate the sellers first and we're coming to the table like with a little bit of empathy about what's going on and possibly what to expect on an inspection and those kind of things, it's absolutely key. So as for the agent, here we are, right? We're sitting in front of them. We're going to get top dollar for their home. In most markets, it's still extremely top dollar compared to what they paid for it 5 to 10 years ago, right? Now, I get it a lot. There's a lot of the people that have bought in the last 5 years, maybe in the last 2 years, that are like uncomfortable in the house or they need to make a move and they're not in such a great position. But we have to understand as agents what all that looks like. And if we understand exactly where they're going and what their goals are and what they loved about the house, because the truth is we can use every part of that emotion to help market the home, right? And as we're moving through this, the messy middle as the agent is bringing those two together. And just throwing it out on the MLS is probably not your best bet for, bringing the messy middle together without any expectation, because they need to know what's coming in as the seller. The buyer needs to know kind of where the sellers are at and understanding, hey, we're looking to move. We love this house. It's never, nothing's ever happened. We hear that all the time. It's been perfect. Maybe we had to clean out the gutters one time. Those are the worst ones, right? But as we kind of understand this, we have to understand the affordability piece on the buyers that are coming through, the emotional piece on the seller, and as the agent, it's not our job to come in and strong arm the seller to get the right price for the list or, strong arm the buyer in a negotiation. Our job is actually to bring them together at a workable number and negotiation so that we can move forward. And so as agents, we need to get it in front of as many people as humanly possible. And I get it, the MLS still sells a lot of houses, but as things change, as brokerages kind of, consider doing exclusive listings and all the things that are out there, we as agents need to step up our game in the marketing platform. We need to understand that these buyers are looking somewhere. Sometimes it's Zillow, sometimes it's the MLS and our portals, but a lot of times the real dreams and the fire starts on social media. So how are we doing that, right? Before we had a marketing approach, we had to get everything done pre-list and splash it out to the market right away. That's just not the case anymore, right? We want to have a solid launch. We certainly want to front load some marketing, but we also want to have some things if we do hit that average days of market, 30, 40 days in some markets, right? So we need to make sure that we are tiering this out. And I promise you that if you have a delayed marketing plan, which if you follow me on Instagram and you DM me listing agent plan, I will absolutely send you the information needed. So that's the RE Agent Playbook over on Instagram. Also comment it down below here and I will get that to you. It won't be automatic, but comment below and we'll get that to you. But it's my way of delaying the marketing, right? It's my way of saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do we're going to have the sign in the yard. We're going to do a opening weekend open house. We're going to do, a long form YouTube video. And then that's week 1. We'll have the printed flyers and stuff like that as well. Week 2, we're going to do short form, focusing solely on the property, the home itself. So maybe your 5 favorite things, or maybe, featuring the exterior of the home, or whatever that looks like. Maybe, those cool, short, 90-second quick walkthroughs. Whatever it is, a couple short form pieces of content that hit. And the key here is to front load this so you're recording it when you're doing the photos and you have it pre-list, because getting back out there, it's hard to get into someone's house and be like, oh, I got to record more content because we didn't sell it, right? So when you're doing the videos, do some short form, grab those things, record those things. Obviously the long form video, please be in it if you're an agent. It helps a lot. It grows your brand, not just the home's brand. And as we kind of move forward, you see that these delayed marketing tactics will come through. Again, I have a 4-week delayed marketing strategy that I can send you, so check that out. I'm not going to dive into all of that because that's not really what this video is about, but the ultimate goal is we need to refresh our marketing ideas. We have more time to do this, right? And so we need to be relentless in recording the content or the picture, getting the photos or getting the content, even if it's copy, if you're not huge on video. We need to make sure that we have it all up front with preparation. And then we just need to be consistent. It needs to be every house, every time. I know it's hard. I understand that, hey, it's a $300,000 townhome, the long form video, those things. We need to get to a point where we are absolutely moving the needle forward. Now you step up into the luxury or the land and ranch or those things, the wonderful platforms that EXP have are awesome for that. However, if you're a solo agent, you're not part of those. Certainly, as you move up, I'm not saying market a $200,000 townhome the same as a $5 million listing. However, the basics need to be there and it needs to be fresh, because if you're a listing agent like myself and you have some listings that have sat on the market, it's a hard conversation if you don't have anything planned, if you don't have anything on the radar, if you didn't say, hey, look, the average days on market are this, so this is going to be kind of our marketing strategy. If you don't have those things up front, those conversations are harder and harder, and then we start to get those dreaded calls. Are you going to host an open house this week? Are you going to do this? Are we going to, what else can we do? So make sure that you are front loading as much as you possibly can and being relentless in that execution. Right? The weekly updates, having those conversations. Trust me, it's not a great conversation when there's no showings, right? But sometimes that's what some of our markets are doing. Then we need to lean on those stats, right? The active days on market, average showings per week, all the things. And your MLS has all of those stats readily available. You can break it down by zip code, price point, all the things. So make sure you're diving into that. And so as we navigate this market and doing things a little bit differently, we have a ton of disruptors out there, new brokerage models. We have, obviously people trying to push the for sale by owners, and we have people that are just think real estate agents don't do the job. And the truth is, sometimes they're right. And we need to take this as a wake-up call and an opportunity to really, really market the listings. And by doing so, your brand is going to explode if you're doing it in a tactical way. And so take a deep breath, understand the market change, and understand first and foremost that it is not your fault that the market is different. However, if your clients are calling you, asking you to do certain things and do this and change the remarks and do all these things, it is your fault that you aren't bringing the marketing strategy to them. You're letting them bring it to you. And regardless of if you don't think it works or whatever, all they're doing is raising their hand saying, we need more, we need more, we need more. And it's an expectation call on the front end. It's understanding what we're trying to do here, right? And getting better at those conversations. Let's list high and see how it goes and those kind of things. And then keeping a relentless eye on those showings, on getting that feedback and understanding and using that and building a separate set of data to help your clients understand what we need to do in order to get the property sold, because ultimately it's about where they're going. It's not about this and getting max dollar for this home, because if they can comfortably sell their home at a lower price and get to where they need to go, maybe that's a future home in the Midwest without a mortgage, then we kind of have some numbers to work with here. And we certainly have options on the back end if the market just tells us, hey, we're not going to get to that point. So I hope this helps. We as agents have a massive opportunity to adapt and be excellent agents and build our brand to levels that is unforeseen right here, right now. If you're a listing agent and you have, a home that's sitting on the market, reach out to me. I'd love to connect with you and we can mastermind on how we're going to get this sold, how we can implement some marketing strategies that maybe you haven't thought of, that maybe you don't think work, that will absolutely satisfy the seller and get it in front of as many eyes as possible. Because the MLS today, if we're just sitting around waiting, our clients are getting frustrated and we need to do better. So reach out anytime, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more on this entire, couple weeks of listings and how we're focusing on this and how we can leverage them to scale our business and scale our brand. We'll see you next time.